home where he belongs. Now I'd like to welcome Dean Wilson to the front. He has a little bit of information for you, but he's also going to be introducing our guest speaker for today.
Hello everyone. I want to be real brief. I want to share with you something. Some of you may know about, some of you may not. If you'll pass these around, let everybody take one. And I too, I think I printed a little shy of getting around to everybody. But I did start a website 2 years ago this November. It's called Yesterday in Dayton. It's a place I wanted to do a central location for history, whether it's a large historical event or something very small. And I did start that, and currently there's over 262 posts on there relating to some type of historical event in the county, whether it's a major event or something small. And the handout I've sent you just is some basic information, lets you see kind of what the website looks like, the web address if you want to go there. If you want to sign your email up and get an email every time a new article comes out, you can do that. Nobody sees your email. You never get junk email. And there is a sample article printed on the back about the opening of Firestone. So that gives you an idea of what's on the website. So it's just loaded with all kind of historical stuff. And after today's program, we will load this on there. For Bobby's presentation will be on there. There is also a post on there for private to vault. It starts from when the plane landed till the burial at the cemetery, complete with a video. So if you was not there, you could sit there and watch the video all the way through the entire thing, everything. So it's just a way of sharing history around, for people that's local or not local. There's posts on there that. For instance, some of you remember Dr. Broyles, his retirement in 1961, retired after delivering over 4,000 babies. There are just numerous articles on there. There's an article on there of a Rhea County Sheriff's deputy who was ambushed and killed while making an arrest at a moonshine steal. A lot of people don't know about that. There's also a story on there. Try not to put sad stories on there, but history is history. And there is a story on there of an event in Rhea County that was connected to a murder-suicide in Hollywood of two actors. You probably never heard of it. It's on there. So it's just full of history. The old high school, Spring City, just whatever we can get. It's full of history. So take a look at it, if you would. And you may have noticed we're videoing now. We come up with the idea to start videoing meetings. We started when Miss Carmen was here. And we're going to video every single one. Wouldn't you love to go back in the closet and pull out a video of David Gray, or Clyde Roddy, or Miss Broyles, or some of them that gave presentations and have this stuff on hand. And, unfortunately we don't. So at this point, we're going to start having them. So if any of you have any presentations you would like to make, even if you've made them before, we would like to get them on video. Example, we'd love to have a history on the Reed family, that dates back, way back, and Pat Guthie's family and the hospitals and so forth. So if any of you have anything you'd like to present, we'd love to have it. I'm making videos of everything. And today, Bobby is going to speak. Me and James kind of been trying to get our schedule together with Bobby for quite some time to do a video. We were originally going to go to a barbershop and do it, but we decided, why not do it here and let everybody share in. So Bobby's going to share some of his history of the barbershop. He's been there 50 plus years. And he found out in some of the research the barbershop was there long before he came along. He's going to share that. And also his association with the Fables. Some of you may know who the Fables are. Some of you may not. Singing Eternals. He's going to share that history. I do want to say one thing that I know Bobby won't mention because he is a very humble and kind-hearted person. But I did find out that over the years, Bobby has given many haircuts free to soldiers. Either active or leaving, going away, or whatever the situation be. When the soldiers left for Desert Storm. He gave most of those guys their haircuts before they left. And he's a very kind-hearted man. So, of course, we know he can't stand business, giving free haircuts. But if any of you ladies want a haircut, you want to hop across the street and tell him you're with a green beret or something, you might get lucky. Okay? But y'all welcome Bobby Beard.
Well, it won't take you long to figure out I'm not much to speak. So, thank you there, Mr. Wilson. Wilson been after me, I won't tell you how long, trying to get me to do this. So I told him I'd do it. So I was born up in Evansville, Tennessee, June 27, 1941. So that puts me a little age on me, just a little bit there. And Dr. Max Lindsay was my doctor. We were born at home. I mean, we didn't go to the hospital back in my day. And my dad and mom was named Milton and Ann Lee Beer, and I got two brothers. Both of them had nicknames. One of them was Tick, and the other was Shitty. And of course, I have one son myself. And I attended Ray Central High School, and Evansville, went to Evansville Grammar School. And what I finished my school while I was in the Army there, I left and went to San Diego, California, and played music in all those service clubs. And finally got tired of that, and so I thought I'd come back home. So Eddie Daniels and I went together, and we was working at Kaiser and Roth over there, and I'd already been hit in the head 2 or 3 times with one of them pulleys. And he said, have you ever wondered what California looks like? I said, yeah, I sure have, buddy. And he said, why don't we go payday? We said, all right, we'll go. So we got out there, we had about $35 in our pocket, I guess, by the time we got there. And the folks had a job playing music, and the band had broke up. We didn't even have a job. And Benny was Eddie's brother, kind of took care of us and everything. So he got me a job working at a garage, and the first thing that guy done was had me take out a transmission out of a Cadillac. I was only about 18 years old. I'll never get that. He said I was a good guy, but wasn't no mechanic, he said. So I stayed about 8 months, and then I came back home, and then I started over here. And so things we did back when we kind of grew up, my guest over here will let you know there in a minute. We'd ride bicycles and ride horses and go down to the depot down there and watch the old choo-choo trains come by. And Dick Litton he was the man who ran the show down there. John and Marvin Denton John and Marvin and I grew up together, and we're the best friends there. We used to just play together and just have a real good time. And I was drafted in the Army in 1966 and 68. I went to Fort Benning, Fort Rucker, and Fort Hood. And I was commander of the Legion there. Post 100, I was about 2 years commander there. So the barbershop over here is approximately 90 years old. But it may be a little older than that. It's about as old as we can find out. I went to Knoxville Barber College and studied to be a hairstylist and a barber. So I'm going to turn the page here to this other part. Winford Johnson was the man that owned the barbershop, and he went around churches and taught music. Mr. Brewer might remember him. I don't remember. And he'd go around teaching music, for all people. Howard Smith. Now all this information here came from Howard Smith. Now, so I know it's true. So I'm gonna tell you who my first haircut was. And I'll even tell you what he told me. He said, you're going to have to learn to cut on somebody, just might as well be me, Mr. George Bailey. Stand up, George.
They're still trying to get the calves out.
stuff. We didn't have no tractors, did we? We had horses, full plow. So Ray and George I decided they was gonna play chicken with them horses. They'll run at each other and which one gonna give, Well, neither one of them give, and then they hit the horses head. That flew all that and hit the ground. Everything. Old George said, "Man, if Daddy found that bag, he'd killed him, wouldn't he?" So I changed the name of the barbershop from City Barbershop and went to Eagle Nest Barbershop on account of the mascot at the high school. And let me see what I got there here. And like he said, I gave away plenty of haircuts, trying to help them with kids out, and, the first haircut. But what I remember one of them in particular, he's a little redhead boy, about 12 years old. He wouldn't sit still, he jerked his head, he just do everything, buddy. I mean, he's mean, buddy. He'd say bad things to his mom and everything, and I wasn't raised that way, And I told him, I said, boy, I said, if you don't sit down here and have a chat about it, I'm going to take a razor strap and I'm going to wear you out, buddy, because I'm mad. He said, real cool, buddy, he said. And when you do, he said, I'll sneak down here one night and I'll burn your barbershop down, buddy. And the kid meant it too, buddy. So, now I've had a lot of Grand Ole Opry stars come in over here. Roy Acuff, y'all probably remember him. Roy, little Jimmy Dickens come over there. And of course, Carly Fox was around, he's from Grayville. And Glenn Davis, which moves here in town today, there, he played on Grand Ole Opry 34 years. And Glenn still comes down there. And John Rich, he was one of Elvis's guitar pickers come over here. And we've had him out here on the mountain playing music with us. And he deals with Oak Ridge boys, from the Oak Ridge boys. And I've had 2 weddings in there. And probably some divorces started out there too. Had 2 weddings, and I was cutting Judge Brewer's hair one day. This lawyer came in. He said, we ought to have a court in here. Well, everything got real quiet. See, they had a little. I don't remember what it was about. They had a little court, so they didn't anybody say anything when they left. And I said, somebody got to say something, I told old judge, I said that, but I'll send you a bill on the rental on this. he didn't laugh there for a minute, then he finally laughed, so it kind of turned out pretty good and everything. So I changed the name to Eagle National County School, and had Roy Acuff and all those guys in there. And 2 weddings. Now I'm going to get something else here. And the Fable, we had a group called Fable. And how it started out, we had a radio show, Benny Daniels and Nancy Stanford and me. It's called Hoot Nanny. Y'all remember this? Hoot Nanny? So we had a radio show, and it kind of started from there, and then we added to it and everything. And we tried out for the USO. There's a colonel, I believe the full-bird colonel, came from New York, flew down there to interview us in Nashville over there. And so we went on the USO tour. And we stayed gone 90 days. We went to Vietnam, Thailand, Taiwan, Japan, Okinawa, Philippines, Korea, and Wake and Guam. And then we went to all those different countries, about 10 days to each country. And we met the commander of Thailand. He was a 2-star general. And we'd do different kind of shows. It'd be like family shows, just different stuff. And so General Williams was there. And his aide told us, he said he'll just stay for just speak to you there for a little bit and then he'll leave, see. Well, Judge found out his wife was from Kentucky. So they got in talking basketball. And we was there about 4 o'clock in the morning. He didn't leave, and then he invited us up to his house a day or 2 after that. Sent an air-conditioned limousine. The air-conditioned limousine was something over there nobody didn't have, And when the general sent it through there, So we went up there, and he showed us all of his medals on the wall. He's really a famous guy. And we enjoyed that very well, and had a real good time up there. And we had a song called "With a Real Broken Heart, Please Stand Up," and it sounded like the TV show. To tell the truth. Anyway, it says in there, it says, last night I dreamed I was on a TV program, guess which one was the fool, where you stand at. So this is kind of how the song went. So we sent them a copy up there. And about 3 weeks later, we got a reply, and they said that they wanted us to come up there. So here we went down. We had a Winnebago with a big U-Haul behind it. And all us hillbillies headed to New York. We got up there. I've never seen it in my life, how big New York was. And I'll never forget, we pulled up that hotel, and the little guy come out there, he said, my, he said, I can't even find a place to park a car, much less this thing, he said. And it cost out $20 or $30 just to park that bed, it was a long time ago. And so we was on the show, and did the show, and after that we went to the Statue of Liberty. And this is a story I want all of you to remember, because whenever you see Statue of Liberty, you're going to know what I told you. So we took a fiddle and a guitar and walked off these stairs. You got to walk up that thing. It had a rest area. And so we took a guitar and fiddle up there. Jug something rolling in my sweet baby's arms. We was playing the fiddle and guitar and everything. Perry Massio was with us. And I assume she was Italian because she couldn't speak a bit of English. Didn't have tattoos in her head. She was kind of a large woman, not bad, just large. Boy, we got to play in there. She started stomping that leg. All that leg, them gums just shining, and I said, oh my, we'll be in jail for this. But nobody never said a word. We're doing that and everything. And the guys were in there. Let's see what they get from New York. And we played there and played in Canada.
Bobby, can you give some of us that weren't born and raised here?
What now?
Can you give some of us a year? Are we talking like Vietnam War era? Are we talking 60s, 70s? Years.
To tell the truth,
Yours was there?
Uh-huh.
to tell the truth was in 74.
Yeah, let's see. Now we're in the late 80s, we're on singing Eternal here, so it's in the 70s.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome. But let's see, let me see what I've got there here. We played a lot of states. We played in Kansas and Michigan and just all up there. Boy, we was up there when it was in wintertime. Man, oh man, you talk about snow. But we had a lot of fun playing everything at all these places and everything. So, and then I got in a group called Singing Eternal. Me and Carson Langston was real close friends. And we had to Singing Eternal. It was Bobby Sims, Randy Olengold, Troy Bird, Mike Hadley, and Steve Kelly, Jimmy Potter, and Jim Hollander. I'm having trouble. Boys here for some reason. Now, that was in the late 80s when we did that. We was together, for a long time. And we recorded with the Kingman Quartet, Kingman's outfit over in Nashville, North Carolina. We did, we did a whole bunch of records. And we never did make a whole lot of money, but we always made it, we didn't get rich like them other guys did. So, I've had a lot of fun doing all this and working in the barber shop all those years. I've met all kinds of people, and real nice people, and I met some bad ones too. But main thing is I love my family very well. Got my stepson back here in the back over here, and their grandkid.
Mind if I say something real quick?
Yeah,
Bobby met Mom in '89. I was about my son's age, and Mom and I come up here, and growing up in that barber shop, you know, especially, you know, here, there's a lot of knowledge in this room right here. There's a lot of age. There's a lot of mentorship that needs to happen to younger people that sits in this room right here. And I got it out of that barber shop. Bobby's real nervous. He's a nervous speaker right now, but I've seen National Geographic come in that barber shop and ask Bobby about this courthouse. As he's mentioned, he's had stars come there. But I think what I learned the most growing up is Bobby's service. I want to praise him. Is his service to the community, because 20 years ago, I asked Bobby, he's only went up. When he met Mama, he's charged $4 a haircut. He's only at $5 now. And I tell people two things when they go there. I said, you're going to leave there with less hair and a lower IQ. Amen, George Beatty? I'm telling you though, Bobby, I said, you're still at $5. This is, you know, I said, why don't you go up? Everybody else has went up. And he put me in my place real quick. And he said, that's what I do as a service to this community. And there's been a lot of lessons learned in that barbershop. There's a lot of history in that barbershop. And I just want to thank Bobby for what he's done for Rhea County. When I was this kid's age, you know, you're a little boy, everything embarrasses you. Everywhere I went, somebody know Bobby Beard. Hey, Bobby Beard! Bobby said, hey, buddy. I look over at him, I say, you don't know their name, do you? No. Mom and I got down in Florida to Disney World, and I said, me and Brandon Bird, Debbie Bird's son, and I said, finally, somebody ain't gonna know Bobby Beard. Folks, I tell you, I wasn't 10 steps in Disney World, and somebody done yelled Bobby Beard's name.
Y'all said, I give up.
I give up.
But anyway.
I just want to thank you, Bobby. I know you're nervous and everything. My mother, invest in young people. It's a great thing what you're doing right here. I mean, if we don't have this, and if the younger generation doesn't have what you're doing here in the knowledge, thank you, Dean Wilson, we're not gonna have it. So, sorry to interrupt there.
Well said.
Did y'all make a record as the Fagans? Did y'all cut a record?
Yeah.
Just one or more than one?
We had 2 or 3 records there. We recorded in RCA Victor where Elvis recorded, right in the same place he was. And a chart record there, we did that. And I mean, we didn't ever make no hits, but I mean, you know, we made a living at it, playing music, and got to see a lot of things. And I'm just thankful I was able to do that. And but like I said, what I love my family. And of all places, the love of business, I love helping everybody out. But most of all, I love Rhea County and Dayton, Tennessee. Yeah. So that's about all I got to tell you. That's kind of the story of my life there. And
Bobby, I've got a question. In your 50 plus years of cutting hair, did you ever have a woman come in and want her hair cut?
oh, yeah. Hey, we'll say that.
Did she come back the second time?
George, you got anything you want to say?
Good on her.
George does. We've got a ring. We didn't ever have it. We had things to eat.
Yeah, I got a lot to say, but I ain't gonna say much of it. But, Bobby Beard's daddy cut my hair under that white pine tree out there in the yard. If you ever had them clippers run, what he didn't cut, he pulled down.
Yeah. It cut a little bit, you know, and slang it, try to slang it, but it's still hooked on, you know. It really hurts, but I appreciate it.
As a musician in my early years, I got to ask, what were the acoustics like inside the Statue of Liberty?
What now?
Acoustics.
You better imagine it's you know, empty. Yeah, it's just a roaring. It's really roaring, that old gal. I mean, it's really funny. You'd have to really see that. And see Statue of Liberty. Just remember that.
Yeah.
The old boys, I said, buddy, they'll put us in jail.
And if any of you would like to see this video of them actually on To Tell the Truth, it is on that website, on that paper I passed around. It shows the actual, was it Gene Wood? Was that his name? Gene Woods?
Yeah, Gene.
Gene, it shows Gene as the contestant on the panel, and then at the end of the program, it shows them singing the song.
Yeah.
So it's on there if you want to see it.
Yeah, it was, hey, it's really something, you know, to be on big TV. I mean, that's big TV there, but that's NBC.
What about the Brenda Lottery? That was a big one for you too.
Yeah, played on Brenda Lottery. And here I was over, I was scared to death, buddy. I mean, I looked over and Chet Atkins had a cigar about that long. And I said, oh my goodness gracious. And Oswald, Roy Cuffs, Dobro player come over and he said, son, he said, is this first time you've been on opera? I said, yes, it is. And he said, you scared? I said, I'm scared to death. I just trimmed. And he had on a pair like a clown shoes, big old long shoes. He slapped that thing on the floor. Sounded like a shotgun went off. You know, trying to loosen me up and everything. But we finally, anybody else want to know anything?
Were you at the old Opry House?
Yeah, we was at the old opera house, and I was on the new one with singing Eternals.
You went both places. Did you say you went both places?
Played both places, played the old one and the new one both.
Okay. And when you said you recorded where Elvis Presley recorded, where is that?
That was RCA Victor studio there right in Nashville.
In Nashville. Okay.
And, I mean, we was in the same place. We didn't get to see him nothing, you know, we was in the same place.
Well, I didn't know if
We
that was.
recorded a lot of places. Asheville, North Carolina, we did a lot over there. That's the Kingman Quartet owns that studio. And, I wonder what, I've had a good time through my life. I'm 80 years old.
Bobby, didn't you start on the guitar and then kind of switch over to the electric steel?
Yeah, I used to play the lead guitar, and then I just got up on steel guitar, and I just loved it, you know, I just stayed with it. Of course, some of those guys will blow your mind how they play that thing.
Yeah, because on the To Tell the Truth, he's playing the guitar, and he's got that hair down to about here, and that big wide sideburn. Had that 70s look.
I'm believing that.
Who taught you to play the guitar?
Ma'am?
Who taught you to play the guitar?
Oh, well, my older middle brother wanted to learn how to play the Wildwood Flower, and mother was going to teach him. So she'd teach him and then set the guitar down in the corner when they'd leave her, and I'd get him trying to do what, you know, what she told him. So I just kept on. I was the only one really learned it, and my other brother didn't learn it.
But your mother also played the guitar?
Yeah, she was, all of her family was kind of musical inclined, you know. And, but he didn't stay with it what I did. And, had a lot of fun.
Did you play that guitar behind you instead of in front?
I showed me. There's some things you can't tell, you know, so does anybody got anything want to ask me, anything I might know?
Where did your steel guitar come from?
I want to know. A guy named Weldon Merrick on the Grand Ole Opry. He's their staff steel player. And Glenn Davis, I was telling you there a few minutes ago, asked him to ask Weldon, do you have a guitar? He said, yeah. He said he got one. He got a black one. I told him what I was wanting. So Cheryl had a car. Cheryl sold her car. And then bought the guitar for me. So I still got it. Still play it. And,
It's a famous steel guitar.
yeah, it's really famous. Connie Smith, y'all probably might remember her. And they did once a day on that guitar. Charlie Carter right here, no steel player right here. Y'all probably didn't know that, did you?
He was a try-to. That's the best steel guitar picture in this section.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm getting old now, I'm losing my hearing. And that's like that guy was in church and the preacher's preaching said if anybody's got any problems, they just come down front here and we'll pray for it. So he got out there and he asked that guy, he said, what's the problem? He said, what is about my hearing? So that old preacher preached more than the wrong kind of hearing, really. So I really had a lot of fun. I remember old Johnny there, I once stood with him. Not old Johnny, just Johnny.
You went to school with me too. I said you went to school with me too.
Well, yes, Donna, I'm sorry. Well, everybody in there went to school with him, yes. Mr. Shaver there, I know him, I know all them. And they used to have their family get together. They had about 300 there, didn't you? Yeah. But they had 1,000 people. Well, appreciate y'all inviting me, and I hope you got heard something.
Thank you all again for coming out today. Our next meeting will be November 21st. I think we'll have an individual we had to put off during COVID come speak. It'll be Carol Henderson speaking on the Henderson family, as well as the Friendship Church up on the mountain. We're going to see if we can get him in to speak on that. There is Bobby and his wife brought in.
Yes, signed it.
They brought in a lot of memorabilia from over the years. Please come by and check it out. And if you haven't signed the sign-in sheet while you're over here checking out what they have, sign that for us as well, please. And that's it. Thank y'all.